broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Good stuff. The Chambray.
Let's dance a little bit, shall we? I don't know what took us so long to make this song our intro.
I know.
I'm just feeling it.
Well, yeah, we're dressed for like a rodeo party after this.
I'm ready for this.
Boom.
Guys,
The hoedown. Let's
early
go.
Halloween. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's recap of How to Get Away with Murder. This episode was called Two Birds, One Milestone. I am your host, Jillian Leff. You can find me on Twitter at Jillian Leff. I am here with a lovely panel. Please introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Sterling Cates. You can find me on Twitter at Sterling Cates.
Nice. Yeah, I'm JB Zimmerman. You can find me at JB_Zimmerman.
What's up, guys? I'm Stacy Ike. You can check me out on Twitter and Instagram at OneTakeSpace. Have my phone ready and charged, so tweet me during the show.
And before we get into it, I want to let you guys know that if you haven't already, please subscribe to us on YouTube. Please leave comments on iTunes. Give us a big thumbs up on this video. Leave comments. We will answer them. I think we all are really good about replying to the comments. We love to have a conversation during the week because we are obsessed with this show. This episode was amazing. Was it? I'm feeling
Yeah, it was
good.
like in the beginning and end, they're just dropping bombs. So I was like, whoa.
I feel
we started
so
off.
anxious. I'm
Literally,
just
like
I'm like on the edge of my seat.
the
still.
last 15 minutes were the most incredible 15 minutes of the whole season. Is that too much? I mean, it was crazy after crazy after crazy. I loved it.
I loved our reactions when we finished it. We were like, wait, what?
Yeah,
what
just
happened?
what
And that
just
has,
happened?
like, even just like 10
no one's
seconds.
talking.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta be honest, there is candy all over the AfterBuzz studio.
Right.
So
So
we
can
are
you
all like,
Can you see my
what's
hands? I
going
just had a
on?
Diet Coke
What's
and like
going on?
4 packs of sugar.
That's exactly what happened.
I love
Such
this.
a good episode.
So I want to start off talking about the flash forward that we got this episode.
Okay.
Because we were all sort of shocked by it. So we see Frank run into the hospital as Annalise is being carted in, and I don't think we've ever seen Frank like this. He was absolutely flipping. So out
Yeah,
of
he was
character.
frantic. Like he's always in control, and to see him just like freak out was kind of out of character. And then cut
yeah,
to
but it
like
was
a second
You
intentional.
later.
just said it. He's
Yeah.
always in control as he
Right.
was in that scene.
It
And
was
that's what-
intentional.
The man is
Exactly.
just, I don't want to give him a hand clap because I feel like it's evilness coming, but that was such a beautiful performance. I was like, oh my God, he's so sad. Oh, he's just doing Frank. It was
Yeah,
great.
that
Yeah.
switch was crazy.
He was like, okay, no, are we
Now
good?
my
Did
question-
I
crazy.
get it
okay,
right?
I'm on it. All right, now I'm off.
Oh
there we
my
go.
God, that was good.
But my question is, what was that for?
I honestly do think he is sad. I don't think he's like, oh, whatever. But I think he was like, okay, we got to do what we got to do for everything. So he's like, let me cover my tracks here. Annalise will be fine. She's Annalise.
Interesting. Yeah, I was thinking
But he
maybe
had to worry about other things as well.
Yeah, like he may have not had a specific motive, like, oh, I need to be
Right.
like cold. I think it's just like a default to no emoting, and that way he can't really be charged with anything.
Right.
So it's like a safe.
'Cause I think
Well, it's like an
we
alibi,
saw what
like,
he had
yeah.
to, right. Like
Yeah.
you see he has Catherine in his car, so I think everything he does, everything Bonnie does, everything the kids do, even though they don't mean to, protects Annalise. So I think whatever he did, he was like, okay, let me be there for her, and then let me go handle this other thing because this could have to do with her too, and like we need to cover all of our tracks.
Unless
here,
he
so.
shot her. I mean,
Right.
Well, yeah. Unless he shot.
You know what's crazy? This entire episode, Frank keeps talking. Actually, it's been the last few episodes. He's like, I could never do that to a girl, Laurel. Like, oh my God. Like, I could never kill someone. Why are you thinking that? I'm
I
like,
know he's straight.
He
He
can't-
kills people every episode.
Or he
does.
doesn't- maybe he
does.
doesn't kill them. He just covers it up.
He just covered. That's the thing. He
does.
just has to be a part of like. The Sam thing is another thing that's so last season. But this season, he didn't necessarily kill anyone. It was just oh my God, I've got to cover Catherine. Oh my God, I've got to cover Rebecca.
Protecting
and
everyone else.
Protecting things.
Right.
So I think that's why it's getting to him, because he's like, listen, like, I'm not just running around killing people. Like, I made a mistake, but we're trying to move on, and now that's all Laurel thinks about, which, you know, we'll get to the whole Laurel and Frank thing. But yeah.
Or maybe he's just trying to establish this thing with Laurel so that someone can testify for him in court when he finally
That would
gets-
be really annoying, because I don't think Laurel's stupid enough to be like,
interesting.
I don't feel like she'll fall hard enough.
I
like,
think she's falling pretty hard.
she's so
Speaking of Frank
sarcastic.
and Laurel, I feel like that's a natural transition
Yes.
to
Perfect
what we
segue.
can talk about with them. So this episode, we open up the episode with them hooking up. We see it, but Laurel still has her suspicions about Frank, so she's digging through his crap. Thoughts on that? What do you think would have happened if he would have caught her?
I was so nervous that he was about to
Yeah,
catch
I
her,
would've
trying
been
to hack in his phone.
annoyed.
I feel like that's such an easy thing for Frank to see coming. Like, oh, okay, like Laurel's gonna spend the night at my place. Like, it's not his first rodeo. If
But
it
he really
was
likes
that
her.
right, but if it was that easy to get Frank, like my phone password or like leaving it in the notebook like beside his bed,
Right.
Yeah.
like I killed someone
Yeah,
today.
it's like journal.
Dear diary.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Today I
He's-
strangled Lila.
Exactly.
And then
It
tomorrow,
was
it's
great.
like, no. So I actually agree with that a lot. Not necessarily if he would have caught her, but what was interesting is that my reaction to them hooking up wasn't what I thought it was going to be, because last episode I was into her being like, listen, I'm into you, blah, blah, blah. This episode I was like, oh, I'm over you guys already. And it's only been...
You're an old boring couple.
I was like, no, I just was over them already. And I don't know, maybe because... I'm still trying to figure out why I wasn't into it, because I love Frank and I love Laurel, and I should like them together. And I think I was kind of like,
I don't know. I like them
later
together. I
scenes
personally
made me
like them
happy,
together.
but the
it
beginning
sort of,
just wasn't.
It like saved it for me. So basically, this entire episode, you know, obviously everyone knows that Frank and Laurel are hooking up now. It's not a secret, except for Annalise, which she finds out the next episode.
Right.
Although I feel like she has her suspicions already.
Yeah.
But I did think it was a saving grace in their relationship when Frank decided to introduce her to his family,
I
which
love
like
that.
really brought me back to my
Yeah.
Italian family, because that was just like going home. I was like, oh,
Oh, that's so funny.
get it.
Yeah.
So as far as that move, that was pretty strategic, don't you think?
Very.
And I
very
liked in that
sexy.
scene though when Laurel meets his dad, that he like already knows who she is. He's like, "Oh, you're the smart one."
Yeah,
blah blah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
obviously
He
he's been
talks
talking.
about her.
Yeah, talking about.
I
her.
love that. That's actually. Did you see in her eyes? Do you think she was like into it, or was she like? We'll talk about this later.
I
how
think
you brought
she's
me to
into
the-
it.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure. I really couldn't read her eyes well. I saw he was like,
Well,
yeah,
also,
you're here.
we kind of have to remember Laurel has like a really effed up family life.
Yeah.
So for her to see this sort of like seemingly
that's
normal
so
family that's
good.
very close, he has a good relationship with his mother, good relationship with his father. You know, I think that she sort of was comforted by that, and maybe Frank knew that deep down as a way like, oh, this is how I'm really gonna like,
Get
you
her.
know.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I saw it as sort of like keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. Not that Laurel's an enemy per se, but just, you know, like the more that she thinks she knows, you know, the less questions she
She'll
might be
ask about
searching
other
for.
crap.
Yep.
I can
like
get with
that.
that too, because she. So we found this bag of cash. It's like, Laurel, you still know nothing. Like, I need
Right.
you to stop talking. Like, anyway, that's just my stuff.
But meanwhile, he is behind the whole like
Exactly.
seductive sex, so
And
he's
the
really
plan
the
is
church-
working
she's-
perfectly.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Listen, they have it all worked out. You guys know this with Annalise.
Yeah.
She thinks of everything. So, next, I think we should talk about Caleb and Catherine, since they were sort of, you know, brought back and a
Yeah.
larger part of this episode. We're digging into their past. Did you guys ever think that there would be a secret child?
Secret baby.
The secret baby was.
I
an
did not
excellent
expect
spin.
that. I didn't even expect them to pull a fast one on the Keating 5, pretty much. Like with the
Yeah,
iPad,
with
I was
the
like, whoa,
iPad,
they're
I was
actually
kinda,
like
I didn't like
making
that. I was
moves.
like, don't be recording them. They're, you know, because
No,
their secrets are my secrets too. Like, I think secretly they're just like tripping.
Yeah,
So
but, like, you know when people are talking crap about you. Like,
Right.
you know
Right.
in a room, and for them to be that bold,
Right.
they're right out the door. Like, come on.
That's
You
very
Yeah,
deserve
they were
it.
being
That's
pretty
very-
careless,
Okay,
for sure.
that's true. Annalise was right when she was like, "How stupid are you guys? Like, you couldn't come back to the house and talk
Right.
about
Yeah,
that.
to
You had
even
to
do it-
at the
do it there.
house." That's true. That's true.
Plus, they have like an air of cockiness to them.
When they
It's
walk
nice
in
that-
there, yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
you're the lawyers, you guys. You're supposed to be helping. Yeah.
Yeah, and Annalise always takes them down a peg or two, but it's nice that like it's coming from elsewhere as well. It's not just like, you guys got away with murder. Like, let's get a little bit more humble.
I feel like they were obviously setting them up because they're just standing over by the window. Like, what are they talking about over there that they can't discuss later?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go over here for a second, see what they say about us, and then we'll come back.
It's also unfortunate because I think that their carelessness lies in just them not having the full focus onto what it should be. They're worrying about the Rebecca situation, and they're also sort of mad at each other. I mean, in this episode, we saw so many sort of different relationships. Michaela is super bitter at Wes still for this whole Levi thing, which that was an entire setup, we know. So hopefully Levi's off to Georgia, which Michaela said. Yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to see Levi again. But as far as, like, I just think that it has to do with the focus. They're being sloppy, and that's only going to lead for problems for them, but better television for us.
Right,
exactly.
That's very true.
Can we talk about, like, why they wouldn't look into the biological parents? Like, that just seems so obvious to me.
It was the Michaela, like,
I get Michaela doesn't want to,
push. Well, I'm not going to lie, she annoyed me. I'm like, this has nothing to do with you. I'm adopted, and I'm not going in on you being adopted. Has nothing to do with that, but you're being a lawyer. Annalise would never be like, this is the first time I even heard her say, like, I hate Sam too. And I'm like, it's season 2,
right.
So she doesn't bring that personal stuff. And I'm like, Michaela, you're learning from the best, but you're missing the parts. So I didn't really appreciate the whole, like, I'm adopted and I don't feel like we should do this. I'm like,
no, that's a really good point.
Your parents didn't frame you for murder, though. We need to figure out who did it.
It's not the same situation.
It's not the same
at all.
situation.
So
They
like
dropped you off in a nice home. That's cute.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
But she's just trying to prove that Wes is, like, crazy and his ideas are crazy. But it was really Asher's idea in the first place.
Right.
Well, yeah, it was interesting that she was really putting herself into the case, and that's, like, sort of step one of lawyers, like, not do list.
Right.
I mean, you really have to be impartial. Like, Annalise's phone literally rings off the hook from people who just murdered someone or worse. So, you have to put all of what you believe aside and be really impartial to who you're protecting.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, besides, like, the little sort of vignettes that we saw with, like, the banter back and forth, I don't think this was really a Keating 5 episode. I think this was the individual pairings or trios. So for me, it wasn't like everyone was in on it. I really liked the episode, but I also love when they're all together and it's sort of surrounded by them.
Right, and there's something, Yeah. I will say Connor's a little off for me right now. Like, he's a little too angry.
Connor's a wild card. I'm afraid
he's
that
a wild
he's
card.
really going to do
something.
I
think he's
paranoid.
Especially that end scene was just too much for me.
Okay,
That's
wait.
another story.
So we can talk about it because really there's nothing else really to talk about, with that other stuff. So we find out that Oliver goes above and beyond what he's asked.
Right.
Yeah, which is crazy. He definitely needs to get paid.
He needs to pay the man. He's been doing so much.
Like, does Annalise even know he exists? Because when she's like, I have to admit, it wasn't me.
It was these guys.
Fools. I'm like, no, it wasn't even those fools. It's Oliver back home.
Right.
Like,
yeah, but also, like, what's getting into Oliver? Because he's like, hey, Connor, I
This
did
is
something
funny.
bad.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to get arrested together. Bonnie and Clyde forever.
It's like, no.
But yeah, he's not as good of a hacker as he seems. I mean, as he thinks he is, at least. He got in, but he's sort of being reverse hacked by...
But that's the thing. I don't think it's him not being good. It's just the other guy being better. You don't really know. You don't know someone's better than you until someone's better than you. So I think he's still good.
Right, but I mean, if he's seasoned in, like, breaking in that way, like, he should, cover his tracks.
I was so scared. I was like, he's coming to kill y'all tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're all dying.
Absolutely. Like, your computer is about to turn into a bomb.
Oh,
and this is about,
oh my gosh, that is so... I'm literally having hot flashes, like, thinking about how... Their house is, like, under attack.
Found out that the guy
is sketchy.
The cousin is 2 blocks or 2 miles or whatever from the house.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god!
So he's like there. He's in it.
He's at your house right now.
He's at your door.
He's in the shadows.
He's bringing the mail tomorrow. Connor and everything they were saying. Of course, they were being honest. It's their apartment. So he was like, Annalise this, Annalise, just saying everything. I'm like.
But it makes a lot of sense though, because I started thinking about so. If they're not setting us up for finding out another murderer, this guy very well could be doing everything. So he kills his birth mother because he feels like
Forget you, I want the money.
exactly, like you didn't want me, so I don't want you. Well, I'll off you, whatever, because you don't deserve any of this money. Because I feel like wasn't she gonna get some of it as well?
Yeah.
And then obviously, you know.
She was next in line.
Yeah. So you just kill everyone. It makes so much sense now. I like surprises, but I almost wish it was someone that we already knew.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But who could it have been?
I don't know. I guess
I'm like, because last week I feel like we had, not last week, 2 weeks ago, I feel like we had a few ideas of like maybe it's, you know,
the house,
the maid, right, and that would have been sexy because like she was suspicious from the beginning.
She's totally out of the picture. It seems. I mean, she wasn't in this episode. She could be
was.
back.
On the tablet.
Yeah. Like she sold you out,
right?
And that was that.
I like that they brought in someone different, just because. I mean, especially with that scene with Oliver and Connor at the end, like that. Even in itself, I was just like, oh my god, this is like taking a really great turn.
I just hope it leads somewhere big. Like, hopefully, this character has like a long story arc, and it's not just like, let's write in a secret baby.
That's right. We don't know anything about it.
That's hilarious. He's not a baby, as we saw.
The only thing that will work for Connor at this point, knowing that Oliver's computer is hacked, is that Connor is not really fully honest with Oliver about things.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're going to be talking about work at home, because they don't do that. Even when someone comes over to their apartment, like when Michaela comes over, they were talking about Michaela's love life. They weren't talking about what goes on in the office. I think they have that sort of relationship where things stay separate. And
not on purpose.
No.
Yeah.
But in the beginning of the episode, Oliver was trying to find out what the bad thing was that Connor did. So it's like, how much digging is going to happen? Is this person that is hacking the computer, are they going to feed information to Oliver? Are they going to get Oliver in trouble?
Right.
Like,
are they going to kill one of Oliver or Connor?
I just don't even know.
Oh my god, that's a really good point. Like, are they going to just
possibilities
feed,
here?
little
crazy.
dropping?
Well, because let's be honest, if this guy did commit 3 murders, he's capable of much more than that.
Of
he
course.
could extort him. Like there's so many things that are running through my mind right now. If you guys have a theory about this guy, please leave a comment below. We'll all be checking it tonight, tomorrow. Tweet us all. We have our cell phones.
Yep.
And he could have someone working on it with him, so there could be like a
girlfriend, a boyfriend. We don't know.
And do you think it's that easy to know that he committed all the murders, or do you like?
Well, I feel like, I mean, I want it to be someone else.
Yeah.
But right now, in my mind, this is what the writers want.
He's looking pretty sketchy right now.
Yeah.
It makes sense, but I'm just saying, you know how like last season turned out. Like it was like, wait, Frank?
Right,
like it was just right at the last freaking episode, last 3 minutes. I mean, what the heck?
In the next after the next 2 episodes, we'll find out who shot Annalise.
Yeah. So now we'll go from. This is very interesting,
crazy.
people. I'm just feeling very overwhelmed.
You guys,
in the best way
just
ever.
Don't even know.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about this case since we haven't even touched on that.
Before we do you mind if I do a commercial break?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
girl.
commercial break. This is where the music hits. Okay. So if you guys love AfterBuzz, we love you guys as well. Make sure you're checking out our sister station, Black Hollywood Live. I do a show on there, Black Tea Party. It's a political show. It's really crazy. We also have a couple shows, a fashion show. We have a lot of interview shows. There's a show called Next that I love. I watch it every week. So make sure you're checking it out. It's on our Instagram and Twitter is at BHL Online. Some of our favorite guests have been Jamie Foxx, Taraji P. Henson, Nick Cannon, Jay Ellis, like a couple of amazing people. And it's one of the first online broadcasts focused on African American talent and influencers in Hollywood especially, so you guys have to check it out. I love it, and you know they're our sister, our cousin, our
family.
Just
family.
Yeah,
I was like,
just
they're in the
family.
family. The AfterBuzz family. You know, we're all together, so make sure you're checking out BHL as well as AfterBuzz. So,
Taraji's been on BHL?
girl,
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Ooh, snap.
girl, we need to get her in here for Empire too, but that's a whole nother story. So, yeah,
We'll talk about that later.
yeah.
Okay, and now back to the action.
So, Jill's case.
Yeah, so let's talk about Jill's case. So again, another
Completely
show.
forgot about Jill's case.
Yeah.
I was like,
Jesus,
so how
these
long was
laser
that?
By the last 15 minutes, you were like, I'm moving on.
But I have to say that I loved it
Yeah.
because, as Stacy brought up before, this was the first time that Annalise really said straight out to
I'm
not
glad
somebody in her
he's
inner
gone.
circle,
Right.
I'm
Right.
glad Sam is dead.
Yeah,
Right.
I love that.
So another television show which is bringing sort of a trans focus to an episode, which, you know, we love and appreciate here at AfterBuzz. Awful that it was an abusive relationship. Very twisted, but I'm glad that this episode was here because the way that Annalise had it go away involved Asher, which was important.
Right. I know.
I know you're crushed. Tell me.
I honestly was crushed because I really wanted the dad and Asher to still have some type of bond at the end. Yeah. I understand. Like, when she said Asher needs to grow up, I was like, that's fine, but he doesn't have to lose his dad in the process. Like, the growing up process is cool. Like, Asher's the only one that hasn't had a big thing thrown at him. I love what she said. You know, everyone else in the house has had to deal with some crap, and he's literally been the only one in hiding. Yeah. So this is his situation, but the way she played it, honestly, it was a little too cutthroat for me. I mean, I just feel like it could have... I don't know. I understand what she did. 2 cases for one, but why Asher's dad? And then not even telling him, like...
Well, his dad's into some shady stuff.
Yeah,
like,
and I mean
that's not anyone's fault but his dad.
So right. At the end of the day, it's not Asher's fault that he's a corrupt judge. It's not Asher's fault that Annalise did that. Asher had nothing to do with it. So if you're going to ruin your relationship with your son because of actions that you've done...
Right.
And, I mean, they should have been discovered
anyway. But he's a shady dad. So, like, that's what shady dads do. They're like, well,
he
needs
to, be aware of what he's doing could have repercussions, and he could get caught. Like...
And I mean, he made himself a deal when Asher was going to testify. Right, so I mean, like, he's always looking out for himself. So why, when Asher does what he wants to do?
Right. The thing is, the biggest deal is the first case that they're looking into is the case that made his career, and that's the one that was corrupt.
Yeah.
So his entire career has been based on this one awful thing, which was actually talked about last season.
Yep.
When Asher went home.
Right,
yeah.
Right,
so
right.
I mean, we know that it's definitely a bad situation, and the reason why he wanted to keep it covered was because it would just ruin his career.
Yeah.
I mean,
it sucks because, I mean, maybe because I'm watching too many of these shows, Scandal, How I Got Away with Murder. I'm like, it's okay, just, you'll be fine, cover it up. I mean, not cover it up. You know what I mean? Like,
put a little Band-Aid on it.
Popes, you got the Viola, you have the Keatings and these, all these people that can just make things go away, and that's not life. So you're very right. Like, obviously he made some decisions that have consequences, but I guess I'm too caught up with okay, well, we can save it and we can save everyone and we can figure it out, and that's just not the truth. So I do understand what happened. It was very interesting to find out at the end when Sinclair, who I cannot stand at all,
the worst. Like, Bonnie tries to take the high road, and like Sinclair still just like throws.
Gang rape. It's like,
I still think Bonnie kind of needed to know that, though.
No, I agree.
I mean,
but from Asher, probably.
Okay, but the truth is, knowing Asher's... Well, okay, hold on.
Well, do you think Asher was involved in that? Or do you think it's his dad just, like, covering that up?
No, I think with the way Asher's character develops, I feel like it's more Asher did not say anything about whatever it was.
Right. Yeah. So he like knew about it.
I just feel like there's no way in hell this guy's capable of raping. I just don't think so.
It's interesting because he's always like, I did some things in my past or whatever, and so that makes it feel like
he was involved.
Like he was very idiotic friends. It's too hard to see Asher.
Yeah, well, his face when he's watching that video of Bonnie's childhood, quote unquote, if that's even really from his
I still
childhood.
think Frank doctored that somehow.
Yeah, well, it might not even. It just could be a video of a kid being
Yeah,
but that would be great.
Because Bonnie, I feel like that's just not a real thing. But anyways, his face when he was watching it was like, this is so...
I did this, you think?
No, it was like... No, he was too innocent to, ever see something like that.
Yeah.
I think he just witnessed it.
I think he witnessed it and didn't say anything, and then the friend... And which is, how the hell does Sinclair find out?
Okay, but even that, if you just witnessed it, like, that's not that big of a deal. Like, that big of a secret to... to like follow him through his
but
whole
if you know that your dad helped cover something like that up because of whatever money or whatever influence you want to call on.
Well, but also it's a situation where it's like, okay, so your dad is a famous federal judge and you witnessed this awful thing.
And you didn't take it to court?
Well, no, but it's like, are you really going to want to be involved with that? No.
And maybe, I mean, who knows who was involved
even if you weren't a part of it, even if you were a bystander, that's what the dad did. He was like, oh no, my son's name can't be in this.
Right.
You know? So I don't know, still don't know how Sinclair found out, but like I kind of want to know.
I do now. Yeah. I don't like, she used words like Asher was involved in this. So I need to know what involved means. Is that what we think it means? Is that like he witnessed, or is that he, because if
what was her exact words? Did she say a gang rape?
No, she said Tiffany was gang raped.
Okay. Oh, that's what. Okay, that's what she said. That's what she said. Yeah. I think it's.
I have a bad feeling that like he more than witnessed it.
I don't know, but
because then Bonnie's like, I can't even look at you. Like,
but
all
Bonnie's
this
dramatic.
stuff.
You know, she might be the
Hey,
type
but
of person
Bonnie, Bonnie has seen some stuff in her day.
Exactly.
Like, if she can't even look at him for witnessing a gang rape, like,
but it like sort of doesn't make sense for me for Asher's character development.
Yeah,
like,
it would be. Yeah,
it
would be like
it's out of character for sure.
It's very out of character, and we know he's a little douchey, but.
Yeah, he's so innocent at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a douche. Like, and I think even douche is too much. Sorry, I keep saying that. But, you know, he just has those, like, frat boy tendencies, I guess. I'm not trying to go on frat guys, but some of you weren't that cool. That's just the college I went to. Let's move on.
So, not only did, you know, Asher's dad start to go down and they don't have a relationship, but the district attorney that was working on Jill's case and was also, he had a hand in what else? I forget. But he got all the information to Asher's dad, so now he's going to be a star, and that's how Annalise made her case.
Yeah.
Annalise wants to protect her own. I mean, let's be honest.
She really does.
And herself at the end of the day.
But it was less about her this episode to me. I think, like, the way Bonnie is using this story and, like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, Bonnie just made this split decision, and damn, it was the right one, because now she's in this situation. Annalise is like, all right, now I got another girl to it's crazy. Like, just, I don't know. I kind of admired how Annalise handled it, even though I don't like that she had to use Asher's dad.
Yeah.
But anyway,
she did bring up a lot about like protecting your own. That's what we do for the people we love. Like, she talked about that a lot. This episode.
I mean, look at what she did with Bonnie. She lied to her face and said, "No, you did this, Bonnie. You did this." And I think that, you know, Annalise knew Bonnie needed to hear that, because she's been really hard on her.
Too hard on her,
like, the past, actually, all the episodes this season, she's been...
I was going to say, every time they talk.
Like, every time they open their mouth.
It's nice to have some positive reinforcement every once in a while.
But it's been to the point where I'm like, you're being emotionally abused.
Yeah.
Like, where's HR?
Right. Well, no, yeah, she went to a, like, downward spiral and was just, like, binge drinking by herself, like, straight vodka for a while. So there was a dark period.
Okay, but to go back to the video that Asher saw, because there was a few weeks ago we mentioned, what is it in Bonnie's past that Annalise knows?
Speaking of which, hold up, the whole fact that there is a video, like, if Bonnie is like 35 now and she's like 5, and that, would they even have security cameras 30 years ago, like, ready?
Well, it wasn't a security camera. The dad of the video set up this, like, it might have been like a...
I guess. I don't know. It seemed a little bit too high tech for me for how long ago it was supposed to be.
I'm trying to figure out I think, because remember we said, what is it about Bonnie that, you know, we want to know what is it about Frank and Bonnie that makes Annalise like, these are her people, or whatever. So let's say that is a real video about Bonnie, and maybe Annalise had that video because she used it to defend Bonnie's dad, or, I mean, not defend, but like to get him prosecuted or to get him in jail, or I don't know, maybe she had to do with this case and now they're friends and she took him under her wing. Like, maybe the Bonnie thing is real, because when we first watched it, I was like, I don't think that tape is real. I think Annalise is doing Annalise. But now I'm thinking, we have been wondering what it is about Bonnie. Maybe this is it.
Well, last week's episode, wasn't it called About Bonnie? Or Bonnie, something, like, the whole episode was her name that was the title.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we definitely didn't get what I wanted.
Yeah.
I want, like, a full flashback episode. This is how Frank came into my life. This is how Bonnie came into my life.
I agree.
I need some, like, early 2000s
touchback.
hair, like, double-breasted power suits. Like, I need that.
The shoulder pads.
I need some shoulder pads. Like,
definitely.
That's what I want. I mean, I get that we
awesome.
hate, you know, when they go back too much, because then we're not getting the progression that we want.
Right.
But I feel like as viewers, we need that. How much longer are they going to wait to show us that?
What happened with them? No, I
need to know.
Right.
Yeah, where did she find these people? Like, I'll never forget, and I hate to bring scandal into it, but I loved finding out, you know, where everyone started, their origin stories.
Yep. Because then you know why it's so important for them to be together and, like, secrets and all that kind of stuff.
And then you know how the characters tick, and it just, I don't know, for me it makes sense. I hope we have how many more episodes? There's 15 this season, I think.
So we have, like, 7?
Maybe 7, 6. Well, we don't have that many. So we need to, like, savor this like a chocolate bar on Halloween. You know?
Well, it's only season 2. Annalise was able to get some information on Wes when she was kind of shaking him down.
Yes.
Speaking of which, Steph, she is not his mom.
Wait. Wait, but you know what's
waiting
so
so
annoying?
long
Okay,
to
wait,
say
you
that.
guys. So I met the beautiful
Bam,
Alfred,
lawyered.
which is this is so crazy because
She still could be though. Okay, to be fair, I'm not on this panel, as you guys know. Newsflash, I'm not actually on this panel. But when Stacy was telling me earlier that Steph has that prediction, but even in that conversation, it's like your mom abandoned. Oh, so I guess he did know his.
Yeah,
like, what
because he was.
like.
She says that he was 12.
Too young to remember. Oh, but he was young.
12.
I was gonna say
it's a pretty long time.
Remember.
Yeah. If you are 12 years old and don't know your mom is Annalise, then I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you.
It sucks because now I wish I asked Alfred a different question. I met him at a red carpet a couple days ago at the Paley Center. First of all, so adorable. He's British, so like he's giving us this complete different accent. And I was like, wait, you master
from the Harry Potter movies.
Like, yeah, he just like totally has a different vibe. And I was like, what's going on, buddy? So it was so great meeting him, and I love that he's taller than me and really cute and whatever. And I just wasn't looking at him as Wes. I was like, you're Alfred, like you're cool. So
Alfred.
I asked him, I know.
Great acting, man, because emo Wes in this
right, I was
episode
like, you're
is
not,
no good.
this can't be you. So I asked him about Steph's theory, and he didn't give me much, but this is what he said.
So one of my friends thinks that you and Viola have a very motherly relationship. Not a yes or no. That's all I need. I need to figure out what's going on with it.
I can't give you any answers. Good luck working it out.
I love that. Good luck not. He don't want to get fired, as we can see. So that was, and right before I just told him, I was like, hey, we do this after show, like you need to come on. So he said that he travels back and forth. So maybe when you're in town, you come see us.
Yeah.
Okay,
Awesome.
mate. Okay.
And if you guys need me back that week, just let me know.
Yeah, we got you.
I will be here. And
we got
just,
you.
Nice.
So funny.
But
But
congrats,
so
Stacy, on that
basically-
interview. That's cool.
Thanks. He's so cute, you guys. Okay, we're done. We're done. But so yeah, now we know it's. I was kind of hoping. I mean, I wasn't necessarily hoping Steph was right because I didn't really think that was true. But I was understanding where she was going in terms of them having this freaky. Because in the car,
they're just too like they're too connections like too
when he's like,
sexual
"Don't touch
to
me."
be like.
I was like, why are you stop that? Like,
Yeah.
you're
Well, when
freaking
she's like,
out.
we can't lose what we have, I'm like, it's too like intimate
Listen,
to be like
it's like
maternal.
Yeah.
It's like she wants to like attack him in a non-maternal way.
oh my god,
For me, it's still maternal. You know, as far as we know, Annalise has no children, so maybe she feels some sort of connection with him. Obviously, you know, we don't know the whole entire story. I know Steph had the mother theory, but there were also some like mini theories behind it, like Annalise knew the mother or knew someone in his family, and like now she's looking out for him. You know, obviously we're gonna be finding that out because I've been reading so much about this show.
You
and
can't do that.
Every single journalist asks about the relationship, and it's going to be I assume a big reveal.
It has to be because we're all curious, so we're not curious for a crazy reason. Like we all see it, and they're purposely there's too many scenes. Like why, especially when Wes showed up to Nate's apartment and like walked off sadly. I'm like, Wes, get a grip. This has nothing to do with you.
But also, no one else can treat her that way and get away with it. But
Plus,
then
Nate is now like out of the picture. He is not about that cobbler. And
he does not want
is
to be
like
cobbler.
done.
He's like, I'm done with you.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Nate, did we?
No,
No,
we
not
talked
yet.
about Nate off camera.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about the pills, right?
Yeah, we
Yes,
just talked about
the pills.
The fact he
Okay,
had to kill her.
so that he killed her, and I just think, I mean, we saw Famke come back.
Yes.
Eve. We see Eve come back next episode. So, you know, maybe it's a thing where she's like, okay, you know, Nate is like fully out of the picture. I'm ready to like get back into this. We'll do the long distance thing. Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
right. You know, you're not
Those two
about
can
it.
never survive. No, like Annalise will cheat on her in a second. That was too harsh.
I think
Maybe
they're
that was me.
magnets. I feel like
It
they're
could
just
work?
so attracted to each other. I mean, sometimes when you're attracted to someone, it could be toxic. You know, you're that attracted to someone, so I get that. But with really Nate doesn't want anything to do with her.
He really doesn't.
We'll get into
He
favorite
makes that
He's
very
out.
clear.
He's out.
because I just was I was hurt this episode.
Well, is there anything that I didn't touch on? I mean, I feel like we jumped around, but this show is so damn hard to recap.
And this episode in particular was really dense. There was just a lot of different things happening.
I actually realized we didn't even we did talk about Jill's case, but it's just so interesting because that was such a side note in relation to like this whole episode. I mean, that was 50 minutes, and I just we just learned
flew
so
by.
much. Yeah,
There's so much, very dense, especially at the end, which we went into a lot. I don't think we talked about Frank putting Catherine out. Like,
Yes.
obviously drugging her, I think.
Okay.
Oh my.
That was crazy. I mean, why do that?
We have to. I mean, honestly, I don't think we can make predictions, but there was not enough information. We can't really figure out what was going on.
So I thought she was dead, but she's alive. Obviously, we see her wake up at the end of the episode. Her shirt is really bloody, but she looks fine. Like, it looks like she maybe was given something to put herself to sleep or whatever.
Maybe she witnessed one of those deaths.
No, I think it's framing her.
Yeah.
Like, maybe if Frank worked out, let's wound Annalise in a non-threatening way and set Catherine up for that attempted murder.
Remember two
I
episodes?
like that a lot.
Remember 2 episodes ago when Michaela and Caleb were in the room and Caleb goes, "Is she okay?" And Michaela goes, "Yeah." I think Caleb was asking about his sister.
Catherine.
Yeah,
that makes
sense.
We said that.
Didn't we say Annalise too? It might have been "Oh, is she okay?" Because they both had blood all over them. Caleb had blood on his sweater, and now Catherine had a bloody shirt.
Such bull. They definitely just try to trick us. He has to be asking about Catherine.
Yeah.
Why he doesn't care about Annalise? That makes more sense. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the only thing is Nate is sort of back in that picture in the flash forward we saw.
Oh my god!
But
I guess he is still around.
But this is crazy because it's only 2 weeks. So we are now 2 weeks away.
There's answers coming. There's gotta be.
Oh my god! I'm so
Can I call in?
Girl, we really, because now a lot of things just made more sense from that flashback. Because you're right, Nate has shown us he's gone, but all of a sudden he's back, and now we need to figure out what pulled him back. Is it because he cared about Annalise? Is it because he was happy she was almost dying? What happened?
Maybe he tried the cobbler and it's delicious.
Yeah, he was like,
and he was like, I'm coming over, and
he's like, I need
whatever. I don't know.
Or maybe they find out what really happened to Rebecca, and that gets Nate back in the game because he's like, I want to yeah.
But Rebecca,
do you think there's time for that? A lot. After that last 15 minutes, they can accomplish anything.
Crap. Bonnie, wow, what if Asher finds out? Oh my God,
everyone has blood on their hands now. Everyone.
Oh, well, we don't. Did Asher kill anyone?
Well, maybe he gave
maybe Tiffany.
I don't know.
No, he didn't kill Tiffany. Tiffany's.
You don't know that. You do not know that.
Oh my God, what if she's still alive?
I would prefer.
I don't think so.
Tried to cover it up.
I prefer her being alive.
I feel like she would have surfaced, and there's so much
She might. It's 2 weeks.
So was it?
But I mean, they did so much covering up. It's why wouldn't they? If it was still a loose end, I feel like they wouldn't have.
I don't think these are
done
normal
that.
human beings.
Do you think that Sinclair leaked Tiffany to the press? That's why he got that call. Or do you think it might have been Annalise to scare Asher? To get a phone call about Tiffany.
Well, I wouldn't put it past Annalise.
I wouldn't, but
I think it was
it's
Sinclair.
a very Sinclair thing, and she's evil, and I think she should get new clothes. So stop wearing.
Well, she gets murked, so we get.
Honestly, every time they do the close up of her face, Stacy's like, "Ha!"
I'm just like, you can go now, okay? But honestly, your acting is phenomenal because I hate you, so that's the point.
Well, now we've come to one of our favorite parts of the show, which is talking about our favorite quote of the night.
Yeah.
Now, Steph is such a dedicated host that all the way from the East Coast, she texted me her quote. She watched the show live.
Nice.
Her quote is, "Do whatever you need to do to silence the lambs," which I think
pretty good
Michaela
one. Pretty solid.
That's a good one.
Or I'll come and be a serial killer.
So Steph, that was a good one.
Yep.
Mine this episode comes from Bonnie, and she says cryptically, "Annalise takes care of everything."
That's so true.
She really does.
She does.
I think she is. Can we say that she knew that she really didn't change the situation? Because the way she said it, I was like, Annalise, take care of me, you, all of us.
Yeah. I even felt relief when she said that. I was like, okay, good.
In a way, I think she did, do something right. She did convince, she got Asher to love her. And without that, none of this whole master plan would work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
Sterling, what do you got for us?
So mine was on a more comical note. Now that Asher's back in the game with the team, and he's just rubbing it in their face that he has all this information, and he's like, Annalise Keating really wants to keep this genie in a bottle. It's that intense. So he's like, obviously he's not doing a very good job of not saying that he has all this information.
Shut up. It's so different when they murder
hilarious.
somebody and he has a situation. He's never even heard a breath of that, and he's like, y'all, I got a secret. I can't say anything though.
I just love that, like, they've made his, especially the past few episodes, they've made his character, they've just developed it so well, because you see one side of him and then you see this completely different side of him that's like that, like, light and innocent.
Yeah.
But then he's like talking about something serious, so it's, I don't know,
That's
he's
so funny.
hilarious.
Mine's gonna come from Frank, as always. Everything he says is brilliant. No, when he gets asked by Laurel, like, if he killed Rebecca, and he's like, well, I mean, your friend shined a gun in my buddy's face. Like, do you think I wouldn't hear about that? Like, you know, just really shows how, like, crazy the Keating Five have become. Like, they're so unchecked. They don't, like, have their ducks in a row, and they're really just sloppy. They're falling apart.
Too, like, I keep not knowing my pre-words, but yeah, they just don't know what the hell they're talking about. I think they just they got their head in their asses a little bit.
But that also shows that Frank is just a genius. Like, he's got this all figured out.
He's like, he's like,
always
done this
steps
before.
ahead.
I love that he's like,
chess.
still the storage locker. He was like, yeah, the one I put there. Like, you're so lame.
And he's like, I knew that you were gonna do that. Like, don't you know you were set up?
Later, noobs.
Boom. Try to keep up.
So my quote comes from Nate, and it was a little bit sadder. He said, when Annalise was at the door, and Johnny be sweet, he said, I don't hate you, I just don't care about you.
Ouch.
And
he comes out with some harsh
Unbreak
truths
my heart,
at the
Nate.
end.
That broke my heart, and her little one tear, I'm serious, I could have caught it for her, and I just...
That wasn't even that, like, all of it, though. He also said the one that he was like, when he was talking about how he held his wife until she took her last breath.
And no one will do that for you.
He said, no one will
God.
ever love you that way. God. I was like,
I was like, Wes, is this where you come in? I don't know.
And that just reminded me of the case earlier when Jill was saying, I really believed my husband when he said that no one else would love me.
Yes,
right.
And he was
because of who I am. Yeah. And I was just like,
I love that
was,
line too.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. It's such a testament to, like, so many people's journey. You know, hey, like, I accept you, but it'll just be me.
Yeah.
Right.
No one, and that's just the case, like, not with just TV shows, but life in general, with, like, especially, like, domestic violence and why people stay in it and all this stuff is because they genuinely believe that that they are loved, they can't be loved by anyone else, and that is just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
No, it's a super vicious cycle, and I definitely feel for all of that, and for, like, getting out of that situation. However, like, you know, when they were having a heart-to-heart, Annalise and Jill, I do think they're kind of pushing it to the extreme, like, where that shouldn't be the answer. Like, hopefully there is another solution that's not kill my abusive husband.
And setting it up as
exactly.
I honestly was surprised how the Jill situation turned out, because I won't lie, the beginning made it seem like Jill was, like, completely different, like she was, like, lying about something, you know what I mean, in terms of how soft it was and how she was like, I'm not really sad, I staged it, and she kept lying. She was like, okay, I have this college student alive for me, like, I was like, oh wait, she gonna turn out, and then I guess it just was
she like had her reasoning, and you know, they brought up the other thing where someone that she knew, another trans woman was put into a male prison, and she did not want that. And
I think that was a famous case she was bringing up.
And she was doing everything in her power that she thought to get herself out of the situation, and she was like in that dire, you know, like, this can't happen to me. This can't happen to me. But I did really enjoy that. That whole thing.
And just on a brief note, that we were talking about this earlier, that phone call, like when she calls Annalise first and they talk for a minute and a half or whatever, like, that seemed kind of amateur to me.
It did, because
the fact that she didn't account for that was definitely amateur.
On Annalise's point to me, I'm like, girl, like, duh, they were gonna find your phone records like that.
Right.
So
that's the first thing they would check.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Murder. Check the phone records.
Right. I mean, she knows that. So
even
that
we know that.
Right. We know how to get it. Let's not. Because I'm not.
How you know what we can do with
murder?
We could have solved this
I think we should share our predictions now. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
doing that the whole
Prediction. I know. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I'm exhausted from predictions.
So it's intense. It's
Yeah.
intense. I have a prediction though.
Go,
I
Jamie.
think the secret baby is going to kill either Oliver or Connor.
Or both.
or both.
Not Connor.
And that, because the whole key, like, everybody is so at ends with each other now. I want something that's going to bind them all together. So, like, by killing one of them off, maybe that lets them forget all the petty stuff and focus on, like, okay, we have a common enemy. Let's take care of biz.
I feel like if it's Oliver, that's going to be the thing that sends Connor over the edge because he's already, like,
tipping on it. Yeah, he's really, even with, like, I feel like every episode he's on the edge, the more spiky his hair gets. Literally, this episode, it was like, up here, I'm like, oh my damn, y'all. Get the hairspray down because he is about to. Yeah, so anyway. I don't have, like, too big of a prediction, but obviously with the whole Caleb and Michaela, like, exchange, there's going to be a huge distraction coming next episode. They're either going to go on a date or whatever. Like, whatever's going to happen with them. I guess by the end flashbacks, that might be a good thing because we got to use Michaela's, like, love for him to, like, spur something. But I don't think it's going to be good for next episode. I feel like Annalise is going to find out. She'll be pissed about it, whatever. And I can't wait to see how she treats Laurel over Frank.
Right.
Because she was like, why treat me so poorly? I'm like, how poorly? Like, how does this go? Because she knows everybody's sleeping with each other. So how does that? Yeah.
Right.
That's just.
I like what JB you were saying earlier about Catherine with. Like, it seems like they might be trying to frame her for Annalise's murder. Because then Frank has her in the trunk, obviously. He's taking care of himself, saying that he was there with Annalise at the hospital. Meanwhile, he's going to go. And Catherine won't remember anything because she was drugged, but has Annalise's blood on her.
I know. So do we know it's Annalise's blood? It can't be
No,
Sinclair's?
we don't know that. Oh, it could be Sinclair's.
It could be Sinclair's.
I mean, they could have been setting it up, too.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is what it boils down to.
Someone else could be dead and we don't know yet. It's theirs.
Are they all at the house at night?
Yeah.
Why?
Like, why is Sinclair there? Why is Annalise there?
I can't even make a prediction on that because why is everyone there? You know, like, obviously Sinclair is still involved in their case. She's dead. Someone shoots Annalise. I still think that it might be Sinclair. And then someone pushes her down over the balcony on the stairs.
But wasn't everyone there, like, the whole gang?
Not at the same time. I mean, they came after, though, right?
Yeah.
As far as or do we know that? I don't. Because the way they run
out. I feel like we saw
out.
the whole gang there at Annalise.
No, the whole gang is there. But what I'm saying is, were they there after she died, or were they there? Were they there during the death? Like, were they?
Well, doesn't West run away when there's a gunshot? We like heard the gunshot and we saw him running.
Yeah, and then
did he run to get the others and bring them back there? But like, it seems to me
why the hell would he? That's
listen,
you ain't got no time. Like,
don't shoot the messenger.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
We need answers.
Clearly, JB, your prediction was
solid. Thank you.
Spot on.
Yeah. I mean,
so if you guys agree with JB, give this video a thumbs up.
Anything. I don't know what the heck's going on.
We also want to hear your theories, so leave that in the comments below. This has been an amazing episode. We had an intense conversation. We're all sweating. It's gross.
That's true.
On that note, we're headed home. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jillian Leff, on my Facebook page, Jillian Leff Official, and find me on YouTube, y'all.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Sterling Cates.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JB_Zimmerman.
Hey, and you guys can check me out on Twitter and Instagram at OneTakeStace. I also do a show on 8012, and I'm also here on Wednesdays doing Blackish.
Awesome. Yes. We will see you guys next week. Happy Halloween.
See ya.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.